dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Da da. Hi folks. How's it going? It's going well? Good. Alright, we're continuing work today on the little skinkage. Because the skinks. Still not 100% sure which way I want to go with the feathers. So today we'll continue on with our quick little non-metallic metal effect going on. And of course, we will, see if we can actually get this guy done today. Of course, the channel for Discord patrons are free to join me in the Discord in the patron-only channel if they feel like joining me. If they don't, that's fine too. Won't hurt my feelings. Turn that camera on. That's the paint cam. The paint cam. Hold on, I'm going to open up the wet palette. There we go. There we go. We good? We good. Alright. So, let's just get to work. Let's get to her. Let's get her done. Get her done. So, last time we were working with the Ungor flesh. And did we go as far as we wanted with that? I don't remember. Let's pretend we didn't. And possibly it needs another layering anyway, so let's do it. It's plenty thin. Holy moly, it's like water. Invariably, though, I mean, with any wet palette, it's, you're going to end up with colors running really, really thin. It's just the nature of the beast. The beast. But yeah, that's all we're doing today. Just getting a little bit of painting done. Every day we're steadily making progress towards getting our projects finished. That is the goal. That is the goal. When it's really, really thin like this, man, you got to put down a few layers and really kind of make that happen. It's okay though. It's all right. Me, mo. If I go quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. This being very careful with the paint requires a lot of brain power. I only have so much to deal with, to work with. And so, yeah, that's why I go quiet. So I'm concentrating. Trying to concentrate anyway. I'm trying not to put too much dang paint down. Me, mo. I watched that Simpsons episode the other day. Chief Wiggum. Me, mo. Classic Simpsons. Yeah, that's good enough. Actually, wait. I lied. There we go. Me, mo. Try not to deposit paint anywhere I don't want it. The beauty of working with it in a thinned out consistency like this is actually if you are pretty fast, you can clean up your errors pretty darn quickly. That is one of the big draws of working with your paint in a very thinned out consistency, is you can make corrections very quickly. All right. So we have that down. Let's switch over to, oh, I don't know. Let's grab, I guess, a white. Or should we just use bone? Let's just use bone. We grab a bone. Grab a bone. Let's use Screaming Skull. Yeah, let's use an off-white like Screaming Skull. See, it's all separated. Got to give it a quick shake on the old mixer. Oh, yeah. Almost sounds like an airplane. All right. That should be plenty. Let's give it a quick final little shaky shake. So yeah, we're going to slap some Screaming Skull onto our palette. We might mix a little bit of the color into the Ungor flesh. We might not. I don't know. It's pretty darn thin right now, so I'm not 100% sure what will happen. I mean, I do know what will happen. It'll just become very thin and runny, as all paint does invariably on a wet palette. Well, I shouldn't say all paint, because enamels won't. Some acrylics, solvent-based acrylics, they don't play very well with water. They like to mix better with alcohol. Now then, oh, little bugs. My office has a fly in it. It's annoying. Let's take a little bit of the Ungor flesh. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, you can already see how runny that is. Yeah. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that. Actually, I have no idea if that's actually in focus. It looks like it's in focus. It's probably in focus. Yeah, let's just start slapping this in. Just like so. Slapping the paint on. Is the camera a little too far away? Maybe it is. Nah. So these initial layers, shoot. Talking again. Get that out of there. Get out of there. There we go. So with these initial layerings, we're just going to just build a bit of a gradient, and then we're going to come in with the Screaming Skull. Actually, I want a little bit more. I want a bit more of a 50-50. Yeah, see, that looks more like a 50-50 right there. You see how it all just beads right up. Can't even see your color mixtures because it's so darn thin. Too much paint there. There we go. Me, mo. Looks all right. It's getting a little bit more contrasty. I think with the Screaming Skull, I think we may push the edge highlight on areas a little bit further. But yeah, that's the plan. See, on some of these smaller areas, it's a little bit easier to get your final gradient down. Try not to move it around too much, as you will invariably make a bit of a tide mark, or it'll start to look a little chunky. You don't really want that. There we go. Yeah. See, we're just going for an impression of non-metallic metal. We're not going hardcore, you know, totally reflective realism kind of thing. We're just doing the stylized approach of non-metallic. And that's all. It's just a stylized approach. Just trying to catch some of these high points on these little details. Oop, shoot. Hit a spot. Oh, dang it. I hate when I do that. Where's that color? There it is. All right, let's do these little things that dangle from his belt. Whatever they may be. Again, if I seem really quiet, because I'm concentrating. It's looking all right. Smaller ones, I think we're better off just using a bit of a thicker paint just to basically just lay the indications of color down. I am thinking that is best. Ooh, ooh. Hopefully everybody's doing okay today. Maybe you're getting some painting done. Just maybe. I am mostly okay with that. It is pretty dark in here, and I'm debating whether or not I want to throw like a glint on that, but I don't think so, because I think once I get to like doing a little bit of edge highlighting, yeah. In fact, let's start with the edge highlighting now. Now we do have this color sitting on the wet pile, which means it's going to be really, really thin, which can be problematic when you're trying to get some decent edges happening on a surface, right? Just a little bit. This edge highlight, I'm kind of running it in reverse, so I'm building the brightness up this way. So we built our main color downwards, but I'm doing an edge. I don't know if it's showing on camera very well, but I'm building the brightness that way, going up. And that's what kind of tells the eye that you're looking at this reflective surface. Me, mo. I can't stop doing that. Everybody out there's like, what is he doing? So, yeah. It's really straightforward. This is not a very complicated style of doing it. It's like, we're not going for a true reflectivity. This is a stylized approach. I kind of want to throw one right inside that part. I just may. But anyway, see, it kind of has the impression of being a shining metallic surface now, right? It's a very illustrated type of effect. It's not it's not realistic at all. But I've seen many people claim that this sort of style it looks realistic on a model surface, and not really. Because whenever I see this kind of stuff, it always just looks like 80s band logos. Looks like Metallica's logo kind of thing. That's what I see. Let's bring this highlight right along here. As careful as we can. It's a good way to build up your accuracy when you're painting. It's play operation. Play operation. That'll develop your skills as a miniature painter. Just play operation. There we go. Just that edge. That edge. Shoot. Too much color. Oh well. Yeah, ruined the whole thing now. It's ruined. It's all ruined. There we go. Too much there. Too much there. Yeah. That really is about it. It's not hard. It's pretty easy. I mean, if you followed from the last video and then you're continuing on with, especially if you've never really done this kind of thing before, yeah, it's not hard. People like to make it out to be more difficult than it really is. Not sure why. Not sure why people do that. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me to make things, harder for new people to get into. Like, why would you do that? Why? Why would you want to, make something exclusionary so that people don't want to try it? That just does not make a lot of sense to me. Does it make sense to you? So I'm trying to get this little glint on the inside of that little spot there. And again, if I go quiet, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm using all my brain power. Trying to anyway. Brain power. Yeah, you know what? That's as far as I want to take that effect. Again, I'm not painting this to a super high standard. It's just, you know, just that. That's it. And to my eye, it looks fine. It has the impression of being non-metallic metal without being really, really, you know, uppity about it. Oh. There we go. Just a fine little edge on that bracelet. And then we'll catch those little facets as well in a sec. I just want to go all around the perimeter here, so that at least it looks like we attempted to paint the entirety of the model. At least have that impression. They tried to put some effort in. All right, let's get these little facets here. Am I still in camera? Yeah. There we go. And in fact, we still can even come in with some white and really just, you know, hit the corners, as it were. Yeah. I don't know if that shows up very well, but yeah. That's it, kids. It's pretty darn simple. It's not hard. Yeah, it's not bad. It's getting there. Slowly but surely. Grab a little bit more color. Let's do that belt thingy. Whatever the hell this belt thing is. We really got to be careful now. All I'm doing is I'm putting an edge on the little things that's kind of like little gear spokes come out from the icon. That's all I'm doing. I think I kind of killed that shadow though. I may have killed that shadow. Might have to fix that. And a way to fix that, I was thinking, was just simply using a little bit of thinned out snakebite leather just to push that that tone back a bit. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Grab a little bit of white scar. And now see, I didn't properly think about these plates here, because the dark side of the plates kind of go back. So in fact, I'm just going to do the outside space of them. It's all right. See if we can't catch the edge. Yeah, we'll just catch the edge. Normally, I do not spend this amount of time finessing these kinds of things. I honestly really could not be bothered, but here we are. All right. When I take it away and look at it, it looks fine. It's achieving the desired look. That's really all I'm concerned with, is that it looks the part. It's a little bit challenging to do that little ring on the top of his crest, but we're doing it. We're doing it. It's going to happen. Sit back and relax. It's going to happen. There we go. Okay. I think I'm mostly okay with that. Mostly. If we really wanted to deepen up the color and even introduce a bit more yellow tones, yeah, we probably could use snakebite leather, and that could push us back into more gold territory. In fact, here, let's take a little bit of snakebite leather, Citadel contrast. We're going to slap a little bit onto the palette because the palette's going to thin it down. And, I mean, we could use medium as well, but let's just use water. We're not using very much. Like that's as much as I'm using. Barely any. We'll slap it right here. Oh, excuse me. Grab a generous amount of water in my brush, because we're going to thin this way down. Yeah, see how it's barely paint anymore. It's mostly just water. It's a little too much, but whatever. And we're just going to push this up into where we laid a little bit of those brighter highlights. And this should give us a bit more of our midtones back. In theory. Something's making noise over here. And in fact, I'll do it on the main body of the blade. I keep hearing something snapping, like crackling. Yeah. It's a little too much there. It's a little bit fun. Just a little too much down there. But see how it shifted it a bit more to the yellow side? It's very, very subtle. But that's alright. I like subtle. To the eye, it looks a lot more yellowy. What is making that sound? I hear like a little sizzling sound. I might be going crazy, but... Oh! You little son of a bitch. Gull dang fly was in my coffee. That's what was making the damn sound. Goddamn flies. As he takes a drink from it. That's right, you heard me. I drank from it. Alright. Next on the agenda, I mean, we could finish the blowpipe, because I was thinking of doing that gold, or even just the rings, kind of in a, maybe just the rings, because it's got like these little rings on the blowpipe, right? And I'll do the end of the blowpipe, and there's a little part that he's, oh no, I guess the end. I don't know, maybe the whole blow, I don't know, the whole blowpipe, or just the ends. Now, the next question is really the feathers. What do we want to do these feathers? I was initially thinking more of kind of a natural, you know, browns, off-whites, and, you know, maybe a bit of black. Okay, you know what? No, we're doing this. We're doing this now. They're going to be kind of a naturalistic kind of color. So I am going to base them in Screaming Skull. And because I have the color out anyway. Economize, man. Yeah, we're just gonna use Screaming Skull. We're gonna base coat the feathers. Give them kind of a natural value. We're not gonna go crazy colors. Mainly because the skink himself is kind of crazy colored. So, you know, that's why we're going to go with this route. That's the only reason. What kind of feathers are we talking about? I don't know. I initially was thinking of like more like eagle feathers. But could go with something more like go like a goose feather, a turkey feather. They all pretty much have relevance given the subject matter of these models. You know how they have kind of this South American, you know, vibe to them. Don't mind me just painting his undercarriage. Don't mind me. We might have to do a bit of finagling to get the feathers around his belt there. So we'll have to switch brushes. This brush is a #1 Artist Opus, but it is well used. You can see by my handle, it's just well used. When I say take care of your brushes, I'm more or less talking about from the ferrule to the tip. The handle, you know, it's a handle. You know, it's meant to be handled. Well, duh. So let's grab a little bit of this Screaming Skull. It's really, really thin, but that's fine because I'm okay with doing lots of layers. Now, is that a feather? I think it is. There's a feather like right next to the scale here. I'm going to assume it's a feather. Try really hard not to hit any other details. Again, Chris goes silent as he's concentrating. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a feather there. Right next to his bum scales. Bum scales. And to shade this, what can we use to shade this? Agrax? Agrax a little too contrasty. I'm thinking something along the lines like Argyros Dunes or even Skeleton Horde. Just to give me a little deeper tones and to pick out some of those, the sculpted like edges of the feathers. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? That's what I'm thinking. That is a challenge to get in that space. Frick. Frick, frick, frick. I hit that. Again, like I said, when you're working with the paint and the thinned out consistency like that, it's much easier to correct when you make little boo-boos like that. Yeah, I'm going to use Skeleton Horde. Skeleton Horde's got enough brown in it that, you know, it should do the job I'm looking for. I honestly have no idea what this little detail here is. So it's getting painted like a feather. Okay. Again, if you played Operation as a kid, you'd be a master at miniature painting. A master. All right, I'm gonna hit this with a hairdryer. Where's my hairdryer? There it is. Couple of them feathers on his crotch just need a little bit more color. Those ones I think are okay. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. color. Let's slap some color in there. Too much color. Slightly better. Yeah, let's go back to this side. Let's go back to his undercarriage. Get a little bit more paint in there. Yeah. Give the model a quick look. Make sure I didn't bump a whole bunch of stuff, which I think I'm okay. I'm okay. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. So now, I'm going to grab a little bit of skeleton horde. Skeleton horde, there it is. Needs a good thorough mixing because pigments separating. Oh, yeah. There we go. Ready to go. All right. So yeah, we're going to apply this onto the feathers. Not too heavily. We might do it in 2 passes though, because I might build a little bit of color downwards. You know what? I'm going to slap it on my palette anyway. I'll work with it in a thinned out consistency. So I'll slap a little bit right there. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to push the deeper tone downwards, because I'm going to do them kind of like eagle feathers, where it's a bit darker at the point of the feather. So, yeah. Very generous amount of water here. And so basically, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to start right at the top of the feather and finish the brush stroke downwards. Yeah, like that. We may do more passes, but this is the general vibe. Yeah. So now you can kind of see some of the little details starting to pop out. And that's all we're looking for. I didn't want a crazy shift in color. I just wanted to bring some of it forward. And like glazing, we're finishing the brush stroke down where we want to build up more color. And that is it. Yeah. Yeah, I like a slightly darker brown feather. Plus the brown works well with the gold elements and doesn't take away from the very striking blue of the skink himself. I like it. I'm okay with that. That's really the biggest part when working on your models and painting, and just being happy with your results. I know a lot of times so many people, they want for it to look like right out of the magazines, and on the website or whatever, and then get really discouraged because they can't do it, when, you know, all it is just taking the time to practice and learn it. And you too can do it. Just got to put in the time. That's all it is. Put in the time. Try not to hit any of the blue areas. Tries, I says. That little amount right there. It's going to be a fairly generous amount. I want it to fall into some of the recesses and provide a bit more harsher shadows. So I'll be a little bit heavier with this on these parts. We are going to hit it with more tones, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, man, we probably could even come in with like snakebite leather. I don't think I want to push it that far though. Snakebite leather, I might be just a little too much. But I like the light brown feather. I mean, the feathers are going to be closer to white for the most part. But yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? Looks good? Looks like crap? Hair dryer time. Alrighty. So we're going to put another layer down. Skeleton Horde. We're going to build up a little bit more of that transition. So we'll just take a little bit of the Skeleton Horde. And we'll go about 3/4. Yeah, we'll do 3/4. And just go bam. Bam. Yeah. This one, let's go half. I'm just making it up. I'm not following any particular kind of patterning or whatever. I'm just whatever looks cool. Just like that. You can see now there's a slight gradient building on the feather now. That's all we're looking for. That's it. Maybe go a little darker. I don't know. But for the most part. So this feather, we kind of did it halfway. So we'll just go halfway down. Another halfway down. This one was 3/4. So we will go 3/4 the way down. Yeah. Again, you can see the transition building. We may hit this with some snakebite leather. Just to get it just a little bit. Just to really push that brown. I'm thinking. It's what I'm thinking. I know, it's dangerous. But that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I might push it just for some of these like little shadowy points inside there. I might do that. I just might. I need a little bit more skeleton horde though. So let's grab a little bit more skeleton. What is the proper term? Go, come on, get in there. All right. So we're not really diluting the color, but because it's on the wet palette, it's getting diluted. So, you know, there is that level of dilution going on. That feather, I'll start it further back and bring it more. This one here. Yeah. Again, all we're doing is just looking to build a bit of a gradient on each of these feathers. I'm not treating each feather exactly the same, but I'm also not, you know, not too concerned about it, really. It's not like I'm following any kind of guide here that's telling me how far to push a shadow or anything like that. I'm pretty much making this color scheme up as I go. So, yeah. Just having fun, people. Just having fun. Yeah, we might hit this with some Skeleton Horde. I am thinking so now. Oh, I'm thinking it. Were you thinking it? No, you weren't. Don't even front. You weren't thinking that at all. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I mean, we could go with third layer if we really wanted to, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. Yeah. Yeah. I should probably adjust the camera. I realize we're already, 50 minutes into the stream, and I probably could adjust the camera a little bit. Which camera am I on? This camera. Okay. Bum, bum. And let's go a little bit more. Is that better? It's a little better. It's a little clearer now. You think? Of course you do. Of course you think so. Okay, no. The zoom's all the way set. Okay. It seemed like I wasn't close enough. For whatever reason. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't. Yeah. Anybody want to read my palm? Read my palm. Palm. Alright. Enough goofing around. Let's grab some snakebite leather. Let's give it a shot. Let's, yeah. We're just going to try and push just a little bit of that snakebite leather. I think what we'll do is we'll do kind of like a bit of a crescent on the bottom of the feather. Or maybe more of a ellipse. I don't know. I suppose we could try both, I suppose. So grab a little bit of snakebite leather. It's very, very thin right here. So, and our experiment will be on this first leading feather. Nice and clear there. Yeah. And yeah, let's. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Yeah. That's about a third of the way down the feather. I'm looking to just darken that tip. Here, I'll go about I don't even know what this fraction would be. It's like a quarter, bottom quarter. I don't want too much color. Or maybe I do. It starts to push it towards yellow, actually. It's kind of interesting. Very, very thin snakebite leather goes yellow. It's interesting. To the eye, it pushes more from like a beige to a, sandy color. It's kind of interesting. So we went, a quarter here? So we'll just push that. Oh, we got a freaking hair here. Klingon. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's very interesting. Everybody else is like, what? You ruined it. You ruined it. I'm trying not to ruin it. But apparently I'm ruining it. Yeah. It's interesting. Just because. Okay, put that one. Getting some of these angles of these feathers is kind of a challenge. But we're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah. I'm not hating it. With the going from that beige to the yellow, it is kind of reminding me of something. I don't know what though. I don't know what. Again, we're playing Operation again. Me, mo. Yeah. I am liking though how it pushes towards yellow. Because that actually plays kind of nicely with the blue. Just a bit. Just a little bit. It's kind of interesting. I'm thinking here. Hold on. Don't rush me, man. I'm thinking whether or not I want to hit that with more of a brown or if I want to jump to right to black. Or maybe I should do the white first. Yeah, I probably should do the white first. Yeah, let's do that. All right, let's use Goldens, just because. Give it a good shake. I mean, I could just as easily use something like Liquitex white ink, you know. But I don't think so. Golden High Flow. I really like these paints. You know, they're thin-bodied. They're really great for airbrushing. We'll put it right beside the fluorescence. Put down 2 drops. 2 drops. Why not? All right. Now, because this is going to be fairly thin on the palette, we can add a medium to this, turn it into a nice little glaze, or just use it as such. We're going to just use it as such. Because I think basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw with this. And just draw the little feathery points. It's probably better if I don't have so much paint in my brush. And yeah, let's just start drawing down the feather. So just go because it's so thin, it's really acting more like a glaze, which is fine. Push most of that color upwards like that. So you can see there. And that's it. Well, that's not it, but I mean, for that little bit there. It's got this little spine on the feather. Should have pushed that this way. It's actually kind of a problem working with it in a thinned out consistency like this. There we go. Just looking to create like a little texture on the feathers. Kind of hilarious how I said I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on this, yet here we are spending a whole bunch of time on this. There we go. Again, all I'm doing is I'm just kind of doing a bit of an edge highlight, using the brush stroke to create the texture on the feather, drawing more color up towards the back end of the feather where it meets up with the coupling. Trying to leave some of those shadowy points alone, just for visual interest's sake. Yeah. And just have a bit of texture on it. The white definitely helps. Alright, let's do this. The underside here. Again, if I'm quiet, it's because I'm concentrating. I'm thinking really hard. I'm just trying to get that little bit of texture down. Just a little bit. Now this part here is going to be fun. Getting into this little space. We may fudge this. It's because it's kind of a pain. And by fudge, I mean we're just going to lay the body color down with a slight gradient. And yeah, we're not going to finesse the texture too much. I don't think so. Basically just drawing little lines and spaces just to give that impression of texture there. And that's it really. I'll do that other feather on the belt. Da feather. Yeah. Looks all right. Right? You don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying. It'd be nice if you agreed, but whatever. Don't have to. Now with these, I am 100% playing Operation. I suppose I could have just took him off his base, right? Seeing as that's pretty much what I did, so that I can get into some of these points. I just realized that now that, yeah, that's the whole point of why I did that. Not so smart. Not so smart. I even pretty much missed this area of the feather. So I hit it with a little bit of the white. Let's go to the screaming skull. And let's fill that in. Completely missed this area. How could he do that, you say? Because he's absent-minded. That's how he does it. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. All right. Let's use. Yeah, let's just use Black Templar. Let's see where that gets us. Black Templar. So I'm going to grab some Black Templar Citadel Contrast. Give it a nice thorough mix. I don't think I'm going to throw anything onto the palette. I'm going to use it straight out of the pot. So I'm basically going to be drawing with this mostly. So, yeah. So I'll just put a little bit on there. Grabez-vous ma brush. And, yeah. So, I think with these feathers, I'm going to kind of do a bit of a curved end to it. A bit more consistent with eagle feathers. Let's grab a little bit of color. And yeah, let's go here. Push that color downwards. So basically we're kind of going for a bit of a... I think I probably could have used black paint for that. Might have been better off. Don't know. This one here, just a little bit. Just a little bit on that tip. Yeah. It's not bad. I think I probably should just use the black ink. Yeah, I'm going to go for more of a triangular shape. Triangular shape feels a little bit more consistent, especially with the size of scale. Feels a little better. Yeah. It's hard to see that endpoint now, but yeah. Yeah. Just gonna do these little crotch feathers. Gotta be mindful of the crotch feathers. Always gotta be mindful of the crotch feathers. This is also the point where I really don't want to mess anything up. Make any massive boo-boos. Just like that. Oh well. I don't even know what the heck I was doing there. Again, when Chris goes quiet, it's because he's concentrating. Shoot. I did hit the tail. Frickin' frick. Frickin' frick. Frickin' frack. Alright. Let's get that over there. Yeah, I'm not 100% on it. I mean, on the end of the gun, it looks okay. I don't know. I kind of want to come back and hit this with some skeleton horde again. So let's take a little bit of the skeleton horde. And just because I want to push some of those details again, right? So I just want to go whoop like that. Yeah. Yeah. Just get a little bit more of a gradient going on. I think the white I had applied, it was just a little bit much. And I like the idea of the feathers getting darker towards the tips. I want a bit more gradient going on. I gotta clean that up. Yeah. The other thing is that I want to create some little spots on the feathers. Sometimes you get like the black marking on the end of the feather, and then you get like little kind of mottled little appearance to it. I think I want to do that. Oh. But I don't think I want to use contrast. The contrast feels a little too... almost feels too thick. So for that, we're going to jump over to... yeah, we're going to jump over to some carbon black Liquitex ink. I'm going to draw these little things in. Just going to give it a thorough shake. Well, I say shake, but I mean a thorough mix. I usually like to test it up against the light to see if I can see the bubbles. That's how I know I've mixed it. If I can see bubbles poking through the light, which I can. So we're going to use a little bit of Liquitex Carbon Black. Yeah, we'll stick it right here, right beside the white. I'm not going to need very much. That might look like a lot, but it's got an air bubble in it. At least I think it does. Oh, jeez, damn dog hair. God dang dog hairs. Yeah, you can see how, like, so thin it is. Yeah. Alright. So. Do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, this is going a little better. Yeah, so you can see where it starts to get the black. I just put a couple little spots in there. And that's it. I think that's it. Hey, Coma. What's happening, Kim? Hopefully you're well today. So, come in, lay some of the black down, get a nice solid black. See if we can hit the spine there a bit. Throw some dots. Just a few tiniest of dots. As tiny as you can imagine. Or manage, I should say, not imagine. Yeah. Just like so. There we go. There, it might be a little easier to see it on the backdrop there. Kim, you been at it for over an hour already? I'm late. Yes. Well, I put it out. I said 12 o'clock noon. Eastern Standard. A little further down there. These little feathers, they kind of lack a bit of definition, so it's kind of hard to see exactly what I'm doing. But we will endeavor to press on. Kim, yeah, it's 6 here, was doing some stuff, just got home. Cool. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I want to do for them feathers. Unless, of course, something about them jumps out at me and I go, oh, that looks like crap. I better fix that. No, I kind of like the very natural tone to it. I don't feel like they conflict at all. The level of contrast, though, on them. I would like a little bit more of that texture of the feather to poke through, but again, I may just come back to it and, you know, monkey with it a bit more afterwards. I'm going to take a bit of this white, though. I'm going to do this eyeball. Do one pass on these eyeballs. So I think the eyes, I am going to do them, I don't know. I might do them fluorescent orange. Who knows? There we go. Get that eyeball happening. Get this other eyeball happening. Alrighty. What's next? I guess the blowpipe, right? Kim, it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday going to be the new schedule for streaming? Is not it? I don't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking that maybe, yeah. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday? Yeah. That could be it. It might be it. Hard to say. Sorry, there's a little point here I want to get just a little bit more color on. I realize this is completely not necessary. There we go. I just want just a little bit more color. On camera, that little spot of white I did on his nose looks really huge. It's not that big. Or is it? Might be. I don't think we did a pass of white on the highlights, did we? I don't think we did. Alright. On to the blowpipe. I don't know. Should it be entirely non-metallic metal? Or rings in non-metallic metal with kind of like a wood pattern? I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't know. So we're doing a non-metallic metal. Wouldn't hurt. Screw it. Let's do it. Screw it. Screw it. What color was this? This was that. What color is that? XV88? Yeah, this is XV88. Alright, so we're going to block in some of the initial color with this. It's pretty darn thin, so it might take a couple passes. We're going to do the underside. Well, it's going to take a lot of passes. This is very thin. And for gigs, on the main body, let's push the color that way on the underside, and on the top side, we'll push it back this way. I guess that doesn't make sense, does it? It's horizontal, so I guess we can pretty much just make it up. Seeing as how this is kind of a made-up process anyway. This one, push the color. Yeah, we'll push the color towards the top. Or the rim. Seeing So we're making this up anyway. On the rings, we'll do it halfway. So it's going to get brighter in the centers. Just kind of mimic that horizon line. On the rim of the blowgun, we'll do it through the center. So the rim will get brighter in the center area. On the underside, we'll push the color forward. Just a little bit here. All right, let's do the other side. So uppermost, push the color this way. Is that which way we were doing it? Or we were doing it back? Fuck, we're doing it back. Oops. On the front here, we're doing it forward. Underside, we were pushing it forward. Rings we're doing in central. Yeah. Just gonna get this built up a little bit more. Now I'm fine with some of the deeper color creating like lines and such in the surfaces. That's fine. Natural Reflections always has those kind of abstract shapes going on in it anyway. Wait. All right. Kim finished Radikar yesterday. Pretty happy with him for a two-day paint job. Cool. Awesome. Good to hear. Next, we're jumping back over to, what was it? Balor Brown? Balor Brown. Start laying this down. It's really, really thin. That's fine. Got a little well nut on my brush. There we go. There we go. All right. So, pushing that color. Push that color. go about 3/4 to about halfway on each of the little segments. On the ring, we're going to concentrate more on the central side of it all. That makes sense. Ring, center. We'll have to apply it more than once. Yeah. Let's head over to the other side. Push these colors back. Push that central. Central. Okay. Color there. Yeah. We're building up to it. We're building up to it. Gotta do the underside too, though. Yeah. So, Ballo Brown. We will very likely just bring this forward. On the end of the blue gun. Let's just go like this and like this. What's a little thing like that? Yeah. There we go. I'll do the central things again, the rings. Okay. This little freaking thingy on my brush. The will not. Gotta be careful when you're trying to pick will knots out of your brush. You end up pulling excess hairs and stuff and things like that. Alrighty. What is it next? Ungor flesh. That's the next one right here. Ungor. For ungering. Still really, really thin. So we should be able to glaze this no problem. It's quite a bit. My brush though. Alright. Continue on. forward more. Yeah. You know, I probably could push that horizon line in the center of the tube closer together, I suppose. I suppose. Intensity on that edge. Kim, I really like that you got a shot of the palette or palette cam. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, it's something I've been meaning to do. If I just only have 2 cameras for this, and so if I had like 3 or 4, then we can have all sorts of camera angles going. Honestly, though, I don't know if we really need that many camera angles, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to go, yeah, Chris, we need more camera angles. More. Okay. Building that intensity. I think I am going to push that horizon line closer together, though. And I think I should do it from the bottom. Oh, damn it, I hit that feather. Son of a beehive. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it from the bottom. Try and make that little horizon line just a little bit small. Basically because he's holding the blowgun, right? Like, pretty horizontally. And yeah, so like even on the sword here, we were trying to keep the horizon line, you know, consistent. And so when dealing with the horizon line here, I also want to employ the same method. So let's jump back to, let's go back to XV88. Grab just a bit of this. And we're just going to push this value closer to the center. Which direction was it going? Oh, it's going forward. So, yeah, like that. Yeah, that's not bad. Just to create more of a line there. I don't know how well you can see that, but yeah. Let's do the same thing on this side. A little more color. Yeah. It's feeling all right. Just a bit more there. Yeah. All right. Okay. So next, I'm going to come back in with the, what is it? Balor brown? Balor brown. That's our mid brown we're using here. Grab a little bit more of this. Just a bit. Push that color forward a bit more. Try and push that horizon line. Just a bit. Again, I'm not 100% sure why I'm spending this much time on this, but Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Because basically when you're doing this kind of non-metallic metal effect, you know, all you're doing is looking for creating high and lows and really contrasty kind of points, right? That's all you're doing. So, back to the Ungor. Let's see if we can't clean up some of this stuff here that we've been doing. It's really more the rings. Just kind of clean these up. Just like so. This little fly can piss off. Shoo fly, don't bother me. Okay. All right. I guess we should jump over to the Skeleton Horde. What did I miss here? Kim. Nah, the two are plenty. One shot of what you do and small one of the palette. That way we can see what you do with the colors while you paint. It's because it looks good that you spend that time on it. And it really does look great. It's all right. I mean, if I took some stills of this, you would see all the little boo-boos and things like that. But again, I mean, like, I wasn't planning on painting this to like a really super high standard. I just kind of ended up roping myself into it. Not that I'm going for a super high standard. It's just, you know, spending a bit more time than I normally would on this kind of model. I normally don't really kind of fret about this kind of stuff. But it's kind of having fun with them. Yeah. All right, we're going to throw a nice bright glint on the sides. So we're just going to be very, very careful here. Paint is pretty darn thin. So, I actually kind of like it with the segments being brighter than everything else. We'll see how it looks once we're further along. It kind of gives it a bit more of a brushed metal kind of look, especially highlighting upwards like that. Yeah. Oh, it is tempting to hit the main pipe though. Hit the pipe. Hitting the pipe. Oh, I'm thinking. Oh, Screw it, let's hit the top. Let's throw just a slight little amount of this bone color. What is this, Screaming Skull? I'll throw a little bit of the Screaming Skull just on the very high points here, pushing back. Just a bit right there. Right there. Just a little bit. Yeah. It'll be easy to see once I take some pictures of it and stuff. I think honestly, it looks more like wood right now than it does looks like a metallic gold. I think because I did it in segments, and I probably could have did it as a unified gradient through the surface. I think that might have conveyed more, made more sense visually. I still can, because all I got to do is just darken it up at one of these points and just create a unified gradient throughout the surfaces while leaving the rings to, remain. I also want a bit more contrast between the ring segments. Let's grab a little bit of this white, because I want to fix this little feather here. I hit some of this with some of the color earlier. Come on. Anyway, I don't know. We'll leave it alone for now, I suppose. What else have we got left to do? We got the eyeball. Oh, and his little things on his little darts. What colors should those little ends of those darts be? Off-white? A color? Damn, now I'm thinking just an off-white. Again, because it's like the little blow darts, right, would just be kind of like the ends of feathers. So I'm thinking that maybe they should just be done like the feathers. I guess. I suppose. Yeah, we'll do them just like the feathers. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the Screaming Skull and just base coat these areas. There we go. There we go. Good enough. I kind of want to take some of the snakebite leather and use this on the effect on the blowpipe, and basically just redo a bit of this contrast we got going on here. So I'm just going to push that and that. Yeah, I think I did like it better when the rings were a bit more pronounced. Yeah. I think I like that better. That way, it kind of has a wood feeling or not. Who knows? It's crazy lizard man technology. Or Seraphon, or whatever the hell they're called now. Yeah. Yes, I prefer this better. Like a little bit contrast here. Yeah, I prefer that. That way it doesn't blend in with those feathers either. Feels separate. And yeah, you know, let's take a little bit of the white and let's put just a little glint highlight on. God damn, this stuff makes my paint so thin. And right up on the high point, just right central. Like that. Just a little spot of white. Just to represent that light sourcing above. I do want to hit that with something like... I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more separation in those segments. I will leave it for the time being. Let's grab a little bit more Screaming Skull. Just want a nice little spot right there. There. Right there. Of course on the ring. Right there. Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's all right. I'm okay with that. I think. Unless, of course, I decide to change it later, but which is always a possibility. I'm fickle like that. I might just up and decide to change the whole damn thing. Just painting eyeballs. Let's grab a little bit of this black. Let's pick out some of these little areas where these little feather dart things are sitting. Sorry, all I'm doing right now is I'm just using a bit of the black ink and just doing a little bit of black lining. I realize it's an antiquated practice, but it's a really easy, fast way of, you know, getting a nice contrast on a surface. I know there's a lot of people out there like, no, black lining's for noobs. Blah, blah, blah. I still like it. It is still effective. Especially when your goal is just to frickin' get things done. Just get it done. So all I'm doing is I'm very carefully following the shadows that separate some details. Just going for a little bit more contrast there. All right. Kim, how many have you painted, and how many are they in the warband? 5 or more? They are 6. 6 duders in the warband. I've started work on the Chameleon. He's not done yet. And I'm working on the Skinker. And yeah. So Kim, yeah, you're a patron, aren't you? So I posted the first part of the chameleon fella. And yeah. I'm not sure if I'll show painting everybody, but the rest of the warband will get done like this guy. Similar colors and everything like that. The chameleon was just a lot of fun. Good excuse to play around with bright colors. Now, there is a filter on the camera here, so this model is not as bright as what you would see if you looked at it in person, because it's all fluorescent colors. And the little skinker is actually fluorescent blue, not fluorescent, fluorescent. Oh my god, the coffee's cold. Yeah. Just for giggle's sake, because we've been doing it for a while now, I'm going to turn down the lights. Turn down for what? And here, I'll grab my UV torch so you can see. So here is the chameleon. See how glowy he is. Right? And then here is the skinker. You can see how glowy he is. It's a fluorescent orange and a fluorescent blue. Now, because we've added white to the fluorescent, it does knock a bit of the fluorescence out, but not much, really. It actually looks like reverse, because it's like brighter at the bottom and then gets a little deeper or like duller at the top. That's because where the white paint is added. But yeah. Anyway. Oh. Fun. Alright. So. Speaking of the fluorescent blue. Maybe we should do a final highlight of white and then push it all back, resaturate it with the fluorescence. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just for giggles. Kind of like what I was doing on the head earlier, where I was just kind of like throwing some color down. Yeah. I think that's what I'll do. And of course, I've already started throwing a little too much down. Just go for some of these high points. That is it. Grab just a big part of the knuckles. Just like that. On camera there you can see how it looks really like I've dropped a lot of white on those areas, but not really. It's just the way the camera is trying to cope with all the bright color. Gotta do these fingernails too. All right. The fingernails. Again, though, with this whole little series, the goal wasn't to, like, you know, paint this up to a super high standard. Just to paint it to look nice. That's all. What's wrong with wanting pretty miniatures? Going all quiet again because I'm concentrating. Flies can piss off. Anybody else having problems with flies? It seems like the flies have just been crazy this last summer. This last like 2 weeks. Seems like flies have just been coming out of the woodwork. Not sure why. What's that about? What's going on? Is this fly season? Does anybody know? No? Alright. Give that a second to dry. Yeah, we push those highlights really to a bright white. And so now we're going to take that fluorescent blue. We're going to break it down to a shade. We actually got some of that blue right there. I think that's the fluorescent blue. Either way, we're going to take it. We're going to thin it down. We're going to make a shade wash out of it. Time lag here. Holy Carmeli's 2 hours. Well, we got a bit more done today, I think. So far. We'll just do 2 drops. Grab some Liquitex Flow Aid. We'll throw 2 drops in. 1, 2. Get our mixing brush. Give that a really good mix. Ooh. Try not to introduce too many air bubbles. All right. Now with this, we're going to apply this pretty broadly over surfaces. But because we have the flow aid in there, it should fall within recesses and not disturb the overall effects going on. Basically the transitions. I don't want to lose my transitions, but I do want to resaturate areas. So, yeah, just like that. basically this just kind of helps marry a lot of those transitions together. Yeah. It also makes the blue a little bit more saturated looking, which is what we wanted. Of course, I really don't want to push the color towards the highlights. I want to push it away from the highlights. So like so. Try to be mindful where I'm going with these. Okay. Yeah, in spots like this where there's a lot of white built up, I want to knock that back a bit. I don't want it to be too heavy. And with the flow aid added in, it also helps me, you know, fall within those recesses a little bit better. Just a bit. Again, like I said, we're not looking to knock out what we had achieved. We just want to help it along. Smooth some of it out. Just a bit. Carefully, we'll do the head. So I do not want to hit that orange. Yeah, this is a lot better. Yeah, it's a lot better now. Yeah. Yeah. That looks fine. So when you pull it away from the lights, you can still see the highlights really, really light. But the camera was showing some of those really white parts that, like, say for like the elbow and his bicep and shoulder muscle, you saw them earlier, and they looked, you know, almost like too intense a white on there, like it looked like a white spot. Whereas now it's not, because it's been knocked down just a little bit with just that extra layer of fluorescent on top of it. And yeah, it looks a lot better now. In fact, it helps like marry a lot of those transitions together, making them feel a little bit more unified. All right, what's next? What is next? I guess maybe doing his eyes. Oh, excuse me. Let's catch those little feathers on his belt, his little darts. Do I have any? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got something those little things out on his belt. Yeah, we want to do his eyes next. Now, I want to use a nice strong white. I'm not going to use my wet palette for that, though, because it adds too much moisture. And, in fact, you know what? I'm going to use ceramite white. It's kind of my go-to for really solid white. When I just need a white color to just sit on top of a surface, I like using ceramite. Ceramite? Ceramite? Whatever. So all I do is take a little bit, slap it onto my work surface. Grab just a little bit of water. It's probably a little too much, so I'll just knock a bit out. So the bristles are just swollen with water. Can you even see that? Yeah. And then mix it into the paint just to thin it down just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm looking for. On the wet palette, it would just continually add more water, like once I've got it to this consistency. So it's not what I want. I'm just going to do the eyes. So I want this color to flow like paint. And when you add too much water, then it ends up creeping in everywhere, all over your project, into details and recesses, and it just gets annoying. I think that's good enough. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, let's do a little bit on that. Yeah. Let's catch the back of that eye. So those eyes are really, really bright now. And the question becomes, what color to use? Should I use orange like I did for the crest? Or should I don't know. I was thinking orange. I was thinking green. Maybe magenta? Magenta eyes. Yes, it's magenta eyes. That's it. Sorry, too late. Already called it. Magenta eyes. Just adding another layer in here just to make sure I got a nice solid white. Like so. Yeah, we're going to do magenta eyes. Or fluorescent pink, whatever the hell you want to call it. Grab a little bit of the fluorescent pink. Give it a thorough mix. I was thinking green as well, but nah, I think pink is much more striking. So why not? And we'll throw it up by the previous mixture we had on there. Okay. And we'll probably have to do 2 layers of this. That's fine. So, where am I here in the camera? Yeah. Just like so. Just like that. That's fun. We have to clean up its edges anyway. So I'm probably going to use, I don't know, probably a deep blue just to re-ring around the eyes, clean that up. If I wanted to create a bit of color depth, I could use something like Screamer Pink to, you know, create a bit of shadow around the eyeball itself, and then just use a bit of darker blue to clean up the eyelid. That is something we could do. It is something we could do. Just saying. Yep, that's good there. Good there. Yep. Now the eyes look really intense right now, but in reality, they are. Yeah, I think just that little touch of fluorescent pink in the eye is a lot of fun. Brings a lot of attention to the head. Yeah. I think so. Alright, so let's clean it up a bit. Let's grab some Screamer Pink. Give it a thorough shake. Basically, we're just going to use this just to line around the inside of the eye. Or we could thin it way down and use it to kind of create a slight transition in the eye, kind of give the eye a bit more depth. Kind of like a gemstone, right? We'll just do something like that. So basically in the eye, we'll push the darkness upwards, right? We'll do that. Let's do that. So a little bit of Screamer Pink. Throw that onto the palette. Yeah, we'll throw it right there. Right? Is there space there? Oh, there's plenty of space. We got plenty of space on the camera here. The palette. The all-mighty palette. Alright. So first, I think what I want to do is lay the initial transition of magenta, magenta. And then I'll glaze with it a little bit. So the first one here, I'm just going to draw this out into a nice little sharp point on my brush. And then we're going to hit it up on the upper eyelid. And then we're just going to push it towards the back of the eye. Just like so. There we go. Actually, I suppose we can just do it right there. We don't have to thin it down. So what we did was we hit the upper portion there. And you can kind of see it on camera, how it looks like it has like a transparency to it. Because the shadow is upwards. And that's pretty much all I did. And the color at this scale is quite small. So, you know, creating a slight, or the eye does you a favor by telling you, oh no, that color is blending into the other one and it's a transition you're looking at. And so you think you're looking at a color transition when in fact you're not. Because your brain tells you so. Upper eyelid here. Yeah, just like that on the upper portion. Helps create separation, helps build that shadow, and it helps make that eye look a little bit more menacing. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more here on this eye. Just a bit. Just get a bit deeper tone. And of course I hit a little too much magenta. That's okay. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty much happy with where that is. Which means I need a blue just to do that under eyelid and help create some separation from the flesh on those eyes. So, what blue shall we use? Should we use a contrast? Not really, because it's got a transparency to it. So I want to use an actual blue. And for that, we could use Cantor blue, McCraig blue. Let's use McCraig blue. Nah, screw it. Let's use Cantor blue. We're going to use Cantor blue. Just because we can. Give it a little mix. we'll chuck a little bit onto the palette. So we're going to use some Cantor Blue. What am I stuck on? Oh, it's this thing. Go dang it. Go dang it. There. So, find some space on the palette. We don't really need that much, but never know. It's a wet palette, so we can use more of it later on, if need be. Okay. Grab just a little bit of extra water. So it's a little too much. So just hit my cloth, knock a bit out. Grab just a little bit of the Cantor Blue. Draw it out to a nice little sharp point, like so. And we do the under eyelid here, just to help create a little bit of separation, just like so, like that. In fact, I hit the back of this eyelid here, so I'm going to use the blue and just block that in, and there. You see how we got just a little bit of that blue there, helps separate that eye from the bottom eyelid. Makes it look a lot more menacing now. Of course, how menacing is a skink? I don't know, but I imagine if you ran into one in the woods, you'd be like, ah, my God, it's a skink. He's going to skink me. Whatever that means. Anyway, I digress. So, just pushing a little bit more of this blue here on the eyelids. You see how it creates a nice little separation around that eye now? Doesn't feel like the paint's going everywhere. I think so. Do another layer. Back of this eye. There we go. Yeah, I am okay with that. The question is, are you okay with it? I don't think it really matters if you're okay with it, because it's my model. I can paint it up however I like. All right. Comments. Kim, depends on is he the size of a human or not. Yeah. I don't know. How big are skinks? Well, I guess, he's almost human sized, right? I mean, okay, here's a space marine versus a skink. And yeah. Space marines are like, damn near twice the height of a man, so I guess. How effective are blowguns against space marines? Poop, 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 poop. Would a space marine even be affected by the toxin? I don't think so. I think they have some sort of organ in them that helps them against toxins and stuff, no? Alrighty, folks. I think that's it for now. I may appear back on streaming again later. I may not. If I do, feel free to join me. If I not, well, see you later. First element of war is surprise. Surprise! Alright. I think we're done for now. We might come back later. We may. Either way. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I have no idea for music. Has anybody got an idea for music? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller. Bueller.